Aqui é a M Office, Pitch Office, Private Living, 55022. We'll have a conversation here. This is, all things collected only here on area 22, 55021, 22. We'll have a conversation. Quite simple, quite clear, no pain at all. First thing that we will have in mind on our conversation is that my effort is based on Article 1, Item 4 of the Brazilian Constitution, which is the free will, a premise of Brazilian governments all, and the Brazilian society. In the same way, the freedom is a blessed on American preamble. The freedom as free will allows me to have the freedom of thoughts, creation, development, optimization, and all this for the prosperity of mankind and the welfare state, and for sure for justice. And a small group having misusage of chairs and institutional prerogatives, putting themselves beyond and considering themselves stronger than the Brazilian state, than the American state, the United States of America. Of course that they assume the risks by all abuses perpetrated by them. In Brazil, the clandestine communication is a crime, and it's a crime against the security, against the national defense, and all institutions involved are inside the security area, all policies. On Article 144, Brazilian Constitution, the silence as concurrent interest to obtain archive advantage of them all as democratic institution and the state institution under the use of criminals for criminal purpose are on Article 74 as integrated failure, segmented and isolated by budget with distribution of criminal empowerment from corruption through nepotism has continued of aggressions and unfair treatment. On Article 23, Item 1. The thing that you must have in mind is that you do not believe in what you do, despite you have the continuity of all things you did. And for sure, you are convicted, you all. You maybe are now using this brilliant idea as cloning my mobile and replace segments at the transference of communication and signals to scapegoat things. And this was a pattern by frequency observed in many areas as the elements, I would say, as epistemological knowledge. In a simple way, quantifying this by words, we have the regular area with failures inside acting by criminal purpose. This criminal purpose on regular area must be hidden. It's clandestine. To be protected must scapegoat things. And other elements are evidenced and proved a dozen times. Now, you consider that if I have two mobiles, and you consider that can clone those mobiles by accounts on it, to use the IP as internet protocol, which is my sign on the internet, and have them both or in different moments transferring this signal to do not pay, considering the violation maybe on DNS, as Google public DNS and all, to do not pay the charge against you current at present time to 1 billion, which is a piece of 3 trillion to roll the factory, and now we are holding the creditors considering 2.9 trillion, me and the other financial service American, and the paper holding has an amount as 33 trillion minus the factoring as operation they can cover, charging you in 33 trillion. When you do this, you are affecting a basic right of a creditor in the same way you did at my consumer relationship, which points that I have privilege, I would say, to charge you, including the proofs offered, but I never had this basic right. It's on law 8078 article 6 clause or paragraph. I think that is 10 and 12, which is related with the public service, especially at the security, by the security level involved on it, plus all institutions. You are all guilty in an institutional level equally. Now it's today is day 4 April. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Saquarema City, Rio de Janeiro. You will ask why my scheme is not rolling right now. Because I had a fresh start in each mobile that you clone it and use it to switch my signal at the internet. I can't work, and this is a basic right. I can't apply my freedom as freedom to thought, to think, have reason about things, present solutions in the way I'm doing to have your conviction and the payment of about everything you will pay. If each single penny, when you do this, as the interception of my mobile only can be made inside a criminal procedure with signatures and reasons presented by a judge. But this must be legal. An abusive procedure isn't a right. This judge, or this group, or this ministry encourage this must be all fire destituted in the name of integrity and honor as public service in Brazil, that in my opinion, present time is no. And there are no hypotheses or cases to violate the data. It's on Article 5, Item 12 of our Constitution. You are all guilty as institutions. You are all guilty as criminals, organized inside the institution with the ambition to achieve economic empowerment as a new mafia. You are not a mobster, you are a criminal, and you are convicted. This trial is running and will be declared in the name of God, blessed by the American Constitution, to confirm how freedom is relevant on Western society. Brazilian authorities involved on it and peers associated must be separated inside this isolation which goes on public budget. To answer questions in the bench that is the Federal Justice America, looks like that will be like this, especially the antitrust justice, and they will have the opportunity to present reasons by law to keep, continue, and insist in the criminal aggressions against the Brazilian Constitution and American Constitution as premise, threatening to both states. You assumed the risks of your behavior. You had a consciousness by the systematical and illegal intention presented since from the very beginning. Your situation is not comfortable, and it's recommended to request the federal justice on America the information about this procedure, and if has the interception of mobile calls considering the date today, April 4, 2022, interval 12 o'clock up to 2:30, 2:30 in the afternoon, to check things, because the issue is mostly this, but in Portuguese. And I'm not talking in Portuguese because I'm talking with the American Federal Justice and requesting one more time, as the audit, as governance risk and compliance, the conviction of them all, the warrant to seizure the values and have the declaration that they are all under the same situation. I didn't set the mobile in its call to have the conviction of them all and the warrant declaring the risks by this kind of abusive procedure going on institution by just filled as nepotism or corruption in itself to keep the continuity of gains and illicit purpose, threatening the premise of Brazilian Constitution, American Constitution, and for sure the entire constitutionalism, which is a guarantee of freedom, basic rights, and the development of our Western society. They are against all this. The payment as 1 billion against the local treasury on this tiny siege, combined with Rio de Janeiro siege, to both involved as this with chairs, signatures, and the regression petition on Article 37 against the offenders that must have the lost, must be destituted, dismissed, or fired, and must be sent to an American prisons in case of industrial crime. The issue is simple. The question is only one. Is the violation of mailbox during the academic development of something an industrial crime, considering the optimization as COBOL, the review of a lot of industrial elements, and the creation of the quadrant tracer by the new tracer by quadrants, which allows ourselves to get you and have you convicted and sent to jail as a new group related on transnational organized crime by local chairs and local corruption. What do you think? This question is simple and it's for the American justice. Have a nice week.